first kiss. First kiss was my mom, so...
I'm hunting around in the SNAPMAP review queue right now, and happen to check out this map here. This is called Gimmie My Keycard by FireDragon98. That map ID is 7V89MTD6. Currently sitting in the review queue with 2 plays and 2 down votes. Now, what drew me to this one is the description. Now, it starts out a simple map with some secrets. Cool. All right. And then it follows up with, this is my first snap map, so any constructive criticism is welcome. Now, as many people may know, the reason I started this channel was specifically to give people constructive criticism. And so, like, you know, this map and I have found each other. This is what we're trying to do. Let's take a look at that author profile. FireDragon98 has played 7 hours and 16 minutes of SNAPMAP content, accumulated 16,000 SNAPMAP points. Currently sitting, like I said, this is their first map, and it's all been downvotes so far. So, you know, but we'll see what's going on there. And that's actually some pretty sweet looking armor. I dig that. So, all right. In any case, let's go ahead and give some constructive feedback to Gimmie My Keycard.
That demon seems to have taken your keycard. You will need to find it. The tram station will not be accessible without proper clearance.
Well, thanks, voice in my head. All right. Well, let's take stock of our situation here. We've got double jump. Cool. All right. Weapon wheel has just a pistol, but I see a plasma rifle waiting for us. I really dig when the weapons are laid out like that. And, oh, yeah, I'm wearing my badass armor. Yeah. Love it when I can use my own armor. So, all right, let's go ahead and pick up the old. And this has the fiery thing mod in it. All right, cool. All right, I don't use that very often, but you know, just not visits. All right, the button opens things up. All right, dudes. Wait, what am I doing? I got grenades. So far, so good. Got a loadout I like. Leads to me. So as far as personal preferences are concerned, I'm pretty hunky-dory. Boop, bap, there we go. Alright. Well, that's interesting. I'm not sure why that. Alright, so I got the old goose. I can switch to the siphon grenade if I so choose. You know what, we'll play it by ear. Hopefully that doesn't count as a secret if I don't, that wasn't supposed to count as a secret. Alright, we got a switch saying open. This requires the blue key card, which again, I'm really unclear on why a blue key card prop is sitting here, if not to lead people to a pretty obvious secret. So I'm unclear on why that. Let's put it that way. Alright, so we got some dudes. Go. Hey, it's my old buddy Shotgun with Explosive mod. Alright. Wipe my nose there. Okay. My access is denied here. Oh, because of the button. Okay. Alright. Oh, well. What's up, Lost Souls? Oh, God, Lost Souls. I hate Lost Souls so much. Alright. This is why I didn't take the siphon grenade. So, I do like the siphon grenade, don't get me wrong. It's just that I prefer the explodey grenade. I'll take the siphon grenade if I feel like I'm really at a risk of running out of health. I don't feel like... I have yet to feel threatened by that yet. Whoa. Hey, look, a floating jib. Neat. Alright. Alright. So I was originally just going to snipe him where he stood, but he decided to come down and join me here, so good for him. Alright, okay. There. That'll be enough of that from you. Hey, Empicus, how you doing? Take care of you first. And you. And you for good measure, why not? Okay. Forgot to check and see if this was the mastery version. Don't think it is, but it doesn't have to be either. I mean, alright, so this is a floater here. You might want to one piece of constructive criticism was when you're using these health pickups, they're meant more to be placed on objects than to just sort of float in midair. So, I mean, obviously they're just as functional if they float in midair, but it does sort of mess with the immersion a little bit. You're sitting there, you're playing, and all of a sudden you go, hey, that usually doesn't float, and so that can, you know, and distractions like that, little immersion distractions like that don't necessarily make the board bad or unplayable or anything like that. It's just, you know, it gives people an excuse to sort of snap out of what they're thinking and go, okay, why, you know? So yeah, my constructive feedback on that would be, you know, don't let your things float. Alright, the old dice show is reunited. Alright, some ammo package. Package. Alright, let's move right along. Okay. Alright, I'm hearing hissing and monstery sounds. Is that because they're down here? Yep, I see you. Bloop, there you go. Yeah, like I said, I can't say this board has yet generated that feeling of being in danger, you know? So I don't feel bad about not taking the siphon grenade just yet. Especially if you're going to throw, like, I mean, like, alright, so we got even more weapons. Lightning gun, which I'm probably not going to take. Got the old micro missile, and, you know, if I got room for it, apparently. So, yeah, so, there we go. Alright, and, alright, nothing back there. And, open door. Okay, nothing back there. The old super health. And a big old room, which I am assuming is the, if I had to take a wild guess, I'd say this is where we're going to be having our final confrontation. Oh, well. How rude. You see that way he jumped in front of the grenade like he was protecting the president? Like, holy cow. Like, no, Mr. Imp President, no! Alright. Alright. Okay, I swear there was another one around here somewhere. Oh no, it's just you now, huh? Alright. Guess what, buddy? The goose is loose! Okay, and I see another lost soul over there. And you know how much I hate lost souls? So much. Yeah, guess what? I got environmental squirt too, buddy. I can leave creep on the floors too. Alright, enough fooling around here. Oh, well, he was ready to die too. Okay, cool. Alright. Didn't even have to use my power-ups. Or my AK. I gotta say it was a good day. You know, I often wonder if there's people that watch this and are just not familiar with the music career of Ice Cube and are just going, what are these, why is AK Good Day a funny thing? I don't know. Well, you see, long before Ice Cube was this guy that made weird family films, he did gangster rap. Alright, is this a real key? That is a real key! Yeah. What do we got over here? So that's the blue key card, which I could probably backtrack for, or I wonder if this teleporter is going to take me back there. Yep, okay. So my constructive feedback there would be, I don't know why that needed a whole module to itself, but, yeah. 'Tis what it is. Alright, and then press here to win the game. Boom. Okay. So, constructive feedback for Gimmie My Keycard by FireDragon98. Okay, so I think my constructive feedback on this one is going to be for as far as first maps go, and as long okay, so I'll judge this in two ways. You know, the first is as a first map, and then as a map in general. And the reason why I'm doing that is because constructive criticism on whether or not it's a good first map is not really helpful, because the reason for feedback is to eventually get good at making maps in general. You know, being told, oh, this is great for a first map doesn't really help you when you go to make a second map. You know, so in any case, we'll start with as a first map. I think as a first map, it's very competent. You know, it does all of the things that a Doom board is supposed to do. You know, it gives you the enemies. There's an enemy progression that goes on. So, you know, subsequent encounters are harder than the previous ones. There's secrets to find, you know, and it does a pretty good job about giving the armaments and stuff like that. And yeah, it uses all the tools of SNAPMAP effectively to create a board that is completable from start to finish. You know, so as a first map, great. You know, you've figured out the tools, and you know you had fun playing with them, presumably, and you know, you learned how everything works and how to do things. That's what you're supposed to do with your first board. That's pretty much all there's to it. And now comparing it to other maps. Now, what it would need, I think, to sort of go to the next level, to go, you know, to kind of take these things here and then go to the next level. Honestly, I mean, you're going to get all your ideas from playing other people's boards, believe it or not. I mean, you know, the idea here is, you know, you play other people's boards, and then you sit there and you'll go, well, you know, I wonder if I could do a board that does something like that, or I wonder if, you know, this thing I see in a lot of boards, if I could somehow like do a thing that sort of goes against that and still make it a fun board. You know, you start getting the more nuanced reasons of the reasons players play boards. You start getting into the concept of, you know, the player-creator relationship and you know, player expectation, and you know, and you expand a little further and all that stuff. This map really touches on almost none of that. This board doesn't really feel like it is in any sort of way trying to have a relationship with the player, if that makes sense. I mean, it feels like the purpose of the board was solely so that the creator could figure out how to use the tools. And again, great for a first board, but that's terrible feedback for when you're trying to move forward and make more boards. So, you know, now that you're familiar with the tools, I think the next step is, you know, with your next board, is you're going to try to make a board that actually, you know, plays around with things like player expectation, things like, you know, what's the player gonna do in this particular situation, what kind of situations do I want to put the player in, you know, the kind of challenging situations I'd like to see the player get put in, you know, and then work for those, you know. And so, you know, a couple things you're going to want to address moving forward for some of your more maps, is you want to really be careful about being too generous with the pickups. This board was definitely very, very generous when it came to weapons. You know, it felt like, I want to say, every encounter was concluded by picking up a new gun. And, you know, the encounters weren't getting harder to a degree that justified the ordnance, I felt. I mean, that last encounter, which was meant to be sort of the big boss battle, at no point did I feel like I was in any real danger. I mean, especially in that last area, because what you got is this giant, wide open area that's just littered with pickups and power-ups and all kinds of other stuff. So I got plenty of room to move, plenty of ways to avoid taking any sort of danger, you know, and, you know, that very few enemies in general to have to face. So, you know, with that lack of danger in play, you know, I mean, I saw there was a quad damage, and I saw there was a haste and all this stuff, and honestly, I felt like, as a challenge to myself, I wasn't going to pick them up, you know, because I didn't need to, you know. So, you know, one thing you want to work on with your encounters, you want them to feel a little dangerous. You want people to, like, when they get to that point where they run across the siphon grenade, they go, oh man, I need this because this board has been so, like, stingy with health pickups, and, you know, you know, you know, every time you see a bit of armor, you're just like, oh, thank God, you know. You know, you really want to feel a little bit of that danger, a little bit of that stress. And so I think going forward, you want your demon encounters to have that element of danger in them. So that's something you want to think about. And then the other thing we addressed, which was little details like making sure you don't have objects that are floating in midair that wouldn't normally be floating in midair. These are things you want to look for because they do. They're just little things that sort of break the immersion of your player and kind of give them reasons to kind of look for things to complain about, if that makes sense. So just all things to consider. And there's a whole lot more I could cover here, but I really feel like I've touched on the major points, and I don't want this review to come off as, oh, this is all the stuff you did wrong or the stuff you need to work on. No. I mean, this, again, you made a first board, and everybody has to make a first board at some point, and the first board is not going to be the board that everybody remembers you for because your name's not Taylorhead. So, so in any case, yeah, this was a very, very good first board. You look like you're learning the tools, which is kudos. And at this point now, you're moving on now to sort of the theory and the more complex things of what you're trying to create with your Doom SNAPMAP experiences. So, good job, and Excelsior. That's all I got to say about that. Gimme My Keycard by FireDragon98. That's map ID 7V89MTD6. This is a creator that's looking for some constructive criticism, so feel free to play this map and give them some. Game over, game over, game over, game over.